So my name is Edimbo Lekea. I'm an artist, visual artist, Congolese by way of France. I use acrylic I use everything, but I like to use acrylic on canvas just because it dries faster. But like I said, lately I've been experiencing with like different surfaces, like wood panels, you know, walls too, because I'm a muralist. So the themes that I like to explore are mostly centered around like Afrocentric culture and the different ways of expressing ourselves depending on our geographical location. You know, we are, you know, from the same roots, but roots is not just one root, there's many roots, and we have different ways of expressing ourselves. You know, our ingenuities never stop. So the themes that I like to explore are just that, those differences, you know. It could be around the spirituality within our people, or it could be modern day expression, because, you know, history writes itself every day. So even we have things that are occurring today that are like, represent our resiliency, that one day, like in 3,000 years, young people are gonna wanna study what we've been doing today. So it's also keeping track of times that we live in also. So I have themes for that. Another thing that I also like to do is to implement like different documentaries and books that I read. And then I also have a particular team specifically on those information. So it's kind of like anthropology. I call it anthropology. It's like doing researches, but instead of writing books about it, I just have a series of artwork that's specifically centered around those particular topics and talking points. You know, so, you know, lost information, lost traditions, or traditions we thought were lost, but are still alive today, that are still being practiced today. So I kind of like put them on canvas, and I have a theme. Again, I have a whole series of artwork that, you know, will represent those traditions or those ways of living that we thought were lost, but were never really lost. Now, as far as creating and getting my hands dirty, for one, I gotta have music. Got to have music. What kind of music? Why? First of all, why music? Because I call it the weather in that music. Certain sounds sound like it's summer. Certain sounds sound like it's winter. So it's gonna affect the colors that I'm gonna pick that's gonna go into the canvas. You know, for example, if I'm listening to this particular reggae songs I can think of in my brain, and if I want to create something that has to do with, it's pretty much something that's happening in a hot climate, I'm gonna play some reggae or something, you know, that kind of represents that weather. And then, you know, now I see the yellow and the orange, and I kind of see the composition, because I'm getting the feel of it, and I'm got the yellow and the orange and the red. So those different sounds affect what colors I'm going to pick. And then certain words, if I feel like certain lyrics, because I listen to a lot of hip hop. I know I listen to Congolese music too, but a lot of the lyrics that I feel like if they strike me in the way that, like, you know, that makes me think and process what the artist said, I'm gonna try to like get that same feel that I get, create something, compose the centerpiece of the artwork, so that it gets that same, so that I can get that same feeling that I got from that lyric. So that's on the centerpiece of most of my artwork. Whatever, there's always something that's like centered. There's a lot of stuff around, a lot of details around, encrypted details, you know. But there's always that centerpiece that's like the attention grabber, you know. I use bold colors. I mix my colors, but within the same color. So if I'm mixing blue, I'll mix it with like a lighter blue, maybe purple. And then I like to also put colors that we usually won't put next to each other. I'll put them next to each other just to experiment, and usually I get something interesting, like gray and red. You know, those aren't colors that you don't really put next to one another. You know, just ideas. Ideas that would kind of like strike curiosity in people, and but also in myself, you know. I start with the larger brushes to do the whole background. Once I get the background, I get the feel, then I start to compose. Okay, what goes where? What message do I want to convey to the viewer? And I just start to compose. I do these the ugliest sketches. I call it my ugly sketches, you know, before I turn them into the final piece that people usually enjoy to see. But I draw my ugly sketches after I put the background on it, and then, then I get to work. I've been living in Tacoma since 2016 now, so I'm I guess, local resident now of Tacoma. I actually don't live too far from me. As far as with the art, I've done a few events here, like the Black Night Markets. I've done those. I've done a few events at the University of Tacoma, here in the University of Washington here in Tacoma, and a few other events like pop-up events and festivals, you know, farmers markets. But I'm not as well known. I guess I don't know as many outlets in Tacoma as I would like to know. Not as much as Seattle. Most of my work I've shown has been like in the Seattle area. I really want to discover the Tacoma area because I live around here, you know. Show some love to the community where I live in, you know. So that's my relationship with Tacoma. You know, there's a lot of community. My family lives around here. There's a lot of people from the Congolese community. You know, and it's a lot of us too. You know, just in general, it's a city where the black kinship I feel like is a little tighter. I guess from my experience, I've been living here, like I said, since 2016. So I'm only speaking from my experience. I'm still discovering. So far, I feel like it's treating me good. Whatever events I was invited to. That I was brought to, I feel like I was treated very well, especially as an artist. You know, the respect as an artist is big. You know, artists have that thing where, you know, you like my music, but we're treated this way and stuff like that. So from my experience, I would like to know more as far as like the different avenues within the art community in Tacoma. I know few, and I enjoyed my partnership with them, but I would like to know more. Like as far as like the black history, the black of Tacoma, the black presence. Like there's a lot of history that I'm learning about the past, you know, years, the previous years, like, you know, the ancient days in Tacoma. That I feel that I'm not talked about as much, and we would love to know these things. Especially the younger generation would love to know more of those things because that's black history of its own. The things that I've learned is black history of its own. So I wanted to share that as an artist, we have this responsibility as much as we like to paint what we like to paint, but also share the truth of the times we live in, especially like keeping track of our history, the accomplishments that we do. You know, we champion the ones in the past, and that's good, but we got people live and present here today doing work. So it's, you know, I think one of the contributions of artists we have to do is also highlight those things too. That would be nice if, you know, that was another avenue with that. Through arts, through visual arts, you know. I just want to say also thank you for Tacoma Arts Museum also for even like having me be a part of this. Like I said, I'm very grateful. Every time there was something going on within the arts community in Tacoma and I showed up, it was always love. So yeah, just thank you for the current team, the current awards team. I said Tacoma Arts Museum. Yeah, I think that's all.